to have a change of heart, wanna make a brand new start. You've been living on the edge with forever as a pledge. No more giving it up, turning me loose, setting us free. Baby, keeping it real, cause we got what takes for sure. There's no turning back anymore. Can you see it's all a game? Life goes on all the same. If at first you don't succeed, all you've got is all you need. If you believe, then stake your claim.
Hello, 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 Rise and Thrivers. Guess what? This isn't any replay. This is Rise and Thrive Together, live with Regina and Raquel tonight, this Monday, July 6th, 2026, and it is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's been a while since we've gone live, but we made our promise that we are using this summer to rest and to kind of get back where we need to be, and that we become live once a month. And so it's July, a new month, and we are here live for you at this first Monday in July. So as always, we're going to tell you a little bit about who we are. We are Rise and Thrive Together. We are a vibrant community that's committed to educate, empower, and equip you to get the results that you want through real talk, by taking real actions so that you can have the real results that you want. Hello, sis. It has been just about 5 weeks since we've been together. It is crazy how fast it has come, and at the same exact time, might be feeling a little bit long. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely. We are here and ready and jumping in live for everybody. Oh, we just lost Raquel. She'll be back on in a second. She's just getting some things going on. So, all right, we're going to get her back into the green room. Here she is. She's just setting herself up a little bit. So here we are. Here we are ready for our July 6th live. And I included all of the fun things that, we're not live for all the other dates. So guess what? There's still amazing shows that we did. And we went live on those dates and had you watch some of the best of. And we started from where we all began 3 years ago. And we are really about that mindset. We are really about empowering and equipping you. So for the past, weeks of June, it's been, what is mindset? How does it impact the choices or the decisions you make? And we've gotten through how that impacts your communication. And here we are going through how you even paid it forward once you got your mind like in an empowering way, and that the difference that you get to realize that you make through a really empowering mindset. How do you pay that forward? And now we're really getting into a topic that I think is just designed so perfectly. We are talking about the rhythm of rest and breaking that hustle culture. That's right, breaking that hustle culture. It's a really important topic for Raquel and I'm going to say for many of you, as we're in the middle of summer, and it's a deep conversation. So here we're going to go tonight straight into it, sis. I'm going to turn the mic over to you as we get into this rhythm of rest in the season of summer.
Okay. Rest means different things to different people. So what I'd like to know is, what does rest mean to you? So you guys can throw it in before we even go any further. Let's define what rest means to each person, because it's not the same.
Yes, absolutely not. It is definitely what I consider what we were doing in the month of June. It's a perspective, my personal opinion. It's perspective. And we often say that our words create a reality. And it has been really interesting. Before I got on here, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about all the things that I've been doing. Many of you who follow, us or definitely follow me, I've had a lot of conversations of people being like, man, you've been super, super busy and you must be exhausted. And interesting enough, from my perspective, it has been the most restful um, while doing everything. And Michael Embry's jumping right in there. And it goes, depends on the situation. Thank you, Michael. And we'd still love you to answer the question. Thanks that you said depends on the situation. So pick a situation for you and feel like share what does rest. And I'll just kind of throw it out there like, what is rest? And I'm going to put in quotes. Most likely mean to you? Because I had one definition of it prior to this conversation that's gone by in the past 5 weeks. And because I have spent a lot of time watching our shows and rewatching, what I've been putting up there and kind of really looking at and doing all that work, it's a completely different mindset for me now. But thank you for being one of the first to jump right in, Michael. So, as we're having people watching, what does rest, when you hear the word rest, mean to you? And I'm just going to throw it right up there. Up, and here we go. Genevieve says, rest for me is giving my body a break from the runaround of the day to day responsibilities. Thanks, Genevieve. Thanks for jumping right in there. And Mark, thanks, Mark. Mark comes in and says, rest is what happens once my bills are paid and I can sit unbothered by thoughts and paying bills. Rest is what happens when my bills are paid and I can sit unbothered by my thoughts about paying my bills. And Michael runs back in and says, after a long road trip, rest for him is just bed rest and relaxation. All right, we got lots of different perspectives on that. Love it. Thanks everybody for jumping in and writing in there what rest means for you. Any thoughts, sis, on all those little perspectives from people that have been zipping on in? Anybody else who's coming on? I've seen lots more people coming on. We're going to remind you, come on, join in the conversation. What does rest mean? When you hear the word rest, what does it mean for you? Yeah, that's more. Okay. That is what I got so far. If anybody who has jumped on, oh, wait, we got another chat coming in. Diane, thanks for jumping in. Rest to me means two things: allowing myself to be carefree without responsibility or being beholden to my calendar. And second, taking some deep breaks. I think she meant throughout my day, throughout my work day. She said taking deep breaks throughout my workday, Thanks, Diane. Just throwing that in there. So I love it. Lots of perspectives for people. So she's allowing herself to be carefree without responsibility and being beholden to her calendar, and then taking breaks throughout her workday. Love it, Diane. Thanks for joining into that conversation. So some bed rest and relaxation after a long trip. Once the bills are paid, getting to sit unbothered by the thoughts that we always say come through our minds. Because, hello, how many thoughts are going through our head throughout the day? We've talked about that, especially after paying the bills. And people are saying giving their body a rest from all the running around and the things that they're doing from their day-to-day responsibilities. Great.
So, what I find interesting is that we as people live in a culture that focuses on or celebrates us being busy. People like to say what they've been doing and what they're up to, even if you didn't ask them. And they'll tell you, oh, I'm doing this, and this. And no one ever focuses on, well, where's the rest? Where are we resting? We brag about the little bit of sleep. Oh, I can survive on 2 hours sleep, the things that are on our calendar. Someone here mentioned calendar, and how long it's been since we took a real vacation. Like we're these superheroes because we're not taking a vacation. We live by our calendar. We function on like 3 to 4 hours sleep. But somewhere along the line, exhaustion is now a badge of honor.
Mm.
So I'm a little confused. I like that people said when my bills are paid, but you pay your bills, let's say, once a month. So what happens to the other 30 days? You're only resting that one time? And I know that's probably not what you mean, but we also need to be intentional in when we're speaking and saying things like, yeah, once the bills are paid, I'm good. What happens to the rest of the month though? We only pay bills once a month. Then what happens? Our calendars, do we when we're writing up our calendars, are we putting in a space for rest, a rest day? Are we taking breaks during the day, even if it's just to take a walk outside? Or are we always on our grind and hustling and think to ourselves, hey, we're important because we're doing that? Because I know tons of people who are always on the go, 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 and they're like, oh yeah, and I went here and here and here and here, and they're doing all the talking and really not interested in what the other person has to say. So they're basically having a conversation by themselves because they're so busy and they think that's impressive.
I love that
So
perspective. I really do.
I'm just curious what everybody else thinks.
And Michael's throwing back in, and it's similar to what you were saying that, after the planning and hosting an event and it's finally over, there's rest, is knowing there's no more stress about the event. And I'm really, thank you, everybody. There is no right or wrong. We really appreciate you answering, this question because we are in this inquiry together. We're really curious about what it means to you. I love what you said because it is like this badge of honor. I mean, all including myself, like now I'm like looking at how my words create my reality or how I'm speaking about rest. It's like, oh, finally, we're going on this vacation. I'm unplugging. Diane had that like putting in her calendar, right? Those moments of taking breaks. And even that, like we are so, like you said, busy doing the everything, like you said, the hustle of the everyday stuff that we do, that it is almost this like badge of honor. And usually it occurs as like a, I'm exhausted. I finally am taking a break. Or like this little celebration, right? Like a moment. I don't even know if people will even notice if they're celebrating. It might just be more of like a, oh, finally, I can flop into bed, right? Everything's over. I can flop into bed. There's my rest. There's a really funny Bon Jovi song, giving you how old I am, but I'm a big Bon Jovi fan. And the song is called I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. And the whole song is about the hustle culture. After going, that the rest is when he's dead. So I think it's really, I love the perspective that you're saying. How many of us do celebrate all the other doings, but where does the rest come in? I'm loving it, guys.
And the other question I want to throw out to the audience is, as we're doing all of this, are you actually building the life that you want in this busy state that you're in? Or are we just really, really good at being busy? Because some people can be absolutely busy and get nothing accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
So are you building the life that you want? Let me tell you something. June was a very tough month for me. Sitting here right now, being on this show is tough because it's the first show that I'm doing without Riley, my cat. Sometimes you will see him in the background. So June was tough because I had to put him down. Then, I don't know, maybe like 2 weeks after, a kidney stone that I thought had passed didn't. Like, how do you miss a kidney stone? I don't know, but clearly it was missed. And that had me rest. And it's in that space of rest that I realized, as I was speaking to just a certain people, I was asking them, well, how do you rest? And most of them say, well, I go to bed and I stay in bed, I wrap up, I watch TV, binge watch shows, all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. Rest looks a little different for me. And that's why I'm asking the question, because rest looks different for everybody. For me, My rest was forced on me. I didn't take it. It was forced on me. And in that space of getting rest, I realized what I need to rest more than anything is my mind. Because my mind can go and go and go and go. And then after I think it's gone far enough, it goes a little bit more. My body now can get rest, but it's my mind that I need to rest because I tend to use it a lot, nasty habit that I have.
Mm.
So for me, resting was still had responsibilities that I had to take care of in the midst of grieving and monitoring my health. But I was able to get some rest where it didn't look like everyone else's. And I'm okay with that. I'm working on an art piece for a friend of mine. I was able to get some AI stuff because, AI is real big and we really need to talk about how big and massive AI is at some point. But I got to do some AI stuff that I've wanted to do. And for me, that was restful because I really didn't have to use this, the one thing that keeps running, I didn't have to use that too much. So for me, that's rest. And I realize I do a whole lot of stuff. I've learned, really and truly, learned the word no. I'm not taking on extra projects. I am not, if you need help and I will. But if I can't, I'm sorry. At this time, I really cannot help you. So resting for me is resting this and not always having it work. Sometimes I just need that quiet time, that space of not thinking about anything. I don't know how some of you do it. I heard the bills and all of that stuff, but that's how I've been getting rest in the last month because it has been a heck of a time.
Thank you for that, Raquel. Yes, that's been all the shows prior up to this one. Really going back to putting on the best of, because it really comes down to how we've really created Rise and Thrive together. And we start powerfully around mindset. And so for those who have tuned in and watched them and watched the replays, and you guys have added more to what was prior to those shows, it's been extraordinary conversations. And that is a part of life that we've talked about a lot, quieting the mind, because we're going to have thoughts. Those are the thoughts. But there are so many, things to have quiet the mind. And when you're in events or projects or the day to day, being a caregiver, all of those things, and then life throws the circumstances at you, and especially those that are unexpected, like the loss of your cat, sending you so much extra love, and the health that was not on the calendar, right? And that just then exacerbates, right? Exacerbates all of the thoughts. And you said it perfectly, that at the end of the day, if we really don't start to look at what rest means to us and really put ourselves first, and you're sharing about, for you, the mindset, I'm gonna 100% agree on her. That's why I said it's a perspective, it's a mindset, that life is gonna have you rest if you like it or not. And most of the time it's gonna happen in a way, if we get choice and I want to build the life that I want, then I've got to look at prioritizing. And I think tonight I'm in 100% in the Raquel corner of prioritizing myself and what does rest look like for me. So Diane was throwing in there, for her, sometimes rest looks like to drive to a local park and walk and watch the birds, or simply sit in my car among the trees. And Diane I know well, and Raquel does too. And so she travels often, and so she'll have that. She's the one who says, taking breaks throughout the day, and whatever that looks like for her. And here's one: driving to a local park. Mark had wrote earlier, and then I'll give him the second part, because Mark was like, I was kind of being silly in the beginning, but in fact, he does do 40-hour work weeks. And he takes a few hours of just, relaxing and sitting with his own thoughts. So for him, he sits with his own thoughts each day. And for him, that works, right? So he takes a break, but he then notices the thoughts that are going through each day. And Mark, if there's anything else you want to add, for that. And he does get 7 hours of sleep and
Wow.
takes naps on his days off. Bam with you, Mark. I added that this year in 2026. How do we
Okay,
get
so you added it. Mark does it. The one time I took a nap in the day, later that day, I ended up in the ER. Not because of the nap.
the nap didn't do it, but yes, right. So again, it's something that we choose and we kind of play with and see what it is. He also wanted to add in, thanks everybody for, resting the brain is crucial along with the body.
Yeah.
Today I went down to the river and took a dip and just sat there admiring nature and solitude for a few hours. For him, helps quiet his brain. Oh my God, I don't know why I got all teary. Like I just got super emotional. Mark, I haven't seen you in years and now, but I follow him. If you haven't followed him, he's very cool. He says cool stuff like Raquel and I like love it. And I just got really moved. That is something that's been showing up a lot for a while, but really more often in the type of communities I'm in and the social media about spending more time in nature, spending some time in nature. And so as someone who, is around nature, but doesn't use it often, I did this weekend. It was really those 4th of July for everybody. Woohoo! And was there a plan? Sure, there was a plan. But even with that plan, it was outside. And then before even that plan, which was way later, it was opportunities of being outside in nature. And it was hot, by the way, guys, super hot. And most of the people on the East Coast, super hot. But again, the way it was like created, hydrating, it was still beautiful and really wasn't like as stressful as I think most people had it. So it's a mindset. It's been that. Diane's like saying that she wants to add on to that. I've added naps when my body is asking for it. And so I can accommodate naps.
I am against naps because, like I said,
you had
my
one
nap, I woke up from my nap and got some tea, threw up, and went to the ER. No naps for this girl. Okay.
Yeah, well, but you just made up something of naps equals ER.
I did.
Raquel's like, I just made up naps equal ER.
Yeah.
But it's such a great example. Kidding or
Yeah.
not kidding, truth or not, whatever it is. We do that also, right? We have an experience, and then that's that. And that's why we have this show, because this is not like pick one. There is a way that I'm going to say about, what does rest mean to you? You won't know until you start literally noticing and being aware what it means to you. And then whatever is coming out of you from this conversation or prior, now you can start like taking a moment, analyzing and assess, and then try something. Like just try something. And Mark is saying it's because you see that nature. It's because you see the nature where I sit for my moments of solitude. It's very moving and peaceful and serene. There's this like little spot, and I'm blessed to have that for my whole health.
Yeah.
Where he is, right? Like that's there. And again, it's like this so huge point about perspective, and finding it, because people can live in the middle. Listen, Raquel was going through all of her stuff, and everything that she was going through. I went through the busy stuff, right? The busy stuff, proud to like celebrate, like she was saying, on tour, all of these things. And I was in the middle of these cities. It was the most restful experience. I would say all the way prior was not, like Raquel said, because it was this. It was the events and the planning and the this and what went wrong and blah, 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 and organizing that. And I didn't really look at what rest was. I just powered that hustle through. Thank you for reminding it. Hustle, right? It's the hustle culture. And I mean, how many raise your hand here? You've done events, you're doing stuff, whatever. It comes to the end of the line and you're hustling through it. I did not do what I said I was doing throughout the year. I gave up all the practices, all the commitments, all the consistency, stayed up late, this and that, even vitamins off, like hydration off. And then it hit me. It hit me a week before going away, that I was maybe 10 days before, I was like, holy cow, I'm going on a plane. It's going to be pretty active. And if I don't start really putting back in what rest looks like for me, anybody who knows me out there, many of you do, I get sinus infections easy, I get like done. And I started then putting in all those things that I said I was going to do. Naps again, extra vitamin C's. I don't want to jinx it. We can have a whole conversation about taboo. So I'm going to just play taboo, knock on wood. I've been back, not one sinus infection, back to work. I put massages, I put massages in before when I came home. Then I came back to worked 10 days, did a massage again, and I have another one now 2 weeks later. Because those are the things what rest is for me. I'm realizing for my body, I do so much physical activity, plus all the other mindset she's saying. It all stores. I am not, and yes, I stretch, and yes, all of that, like inside of classes. Am I really taking care of my body? No. So I'm getting the massages, I'm getting those lymphatic massages. I'm so excited. And so, that's where we're at, in what rest looks like. And Mark's in tonight. He's like, LOA did the math. He's having fun. He's like having his mind going, you're working tonight. It's been 45 years since I last saw you, Regina. And we spoke in person a few times. But for some reason, you've left a lasting impression on me. Oh, thanks, Mark. Just a beautiful,
Nice.
peaceful person. Oh, that's so great. Lori's in. I'm going to take a moment. 45 years. Oh my God, Mark. That's saying that we're way, way, way. I don't know about that. I think it's a little less than 45 years. But I'm not that old. No. Lori is jumping in. And she says, I nap when my daughter naps. Very smart from a mother to a mother. We say this often. Most people don't do it because if not, I'm dragging. And I realized since having my daughter, if I do not nap, I get run down, and so does my daughter. Nice, Lori.
I like that.
Big kudos.
Now we've used the word hustle, rest, work. Can we make some distinctions between them? So, and this is just me, hard work for me it has a purpose, right? And hustle makes work your identity.
Oof.
So hard work says, I am committed to what I'm building. And hustle says, if I stop producing, I lose my value.
Oh, remember when we used to have those little sounds? Can't find them right now. That's a mic drop or bomb drop. Woo! 4th of July. I love that. Yeah, work is definitely, like you said, you're committed, you're out to have that, vision, making an impact. That's for me. Work is that impact that really truly aligns to my beliefs, my values, what I'm out to leave, creating my legacy now, right? And then hustle, I love what you said earlier. Hustle's like all this busy work. I mean, even though things might get out there and get done and I'll make an impact, hustle is more of I love what you just said, that identity, that whole hey, look at me, woohoo, check this out. It's busy work. It's almost busy. It's almost double what you really need to do, almost double and triple what you need to do. And sometimes you're going nowhere. Yeah, I just got really present. So I'm when I hustle, and I just thought about there's that overwhelm and all this stuff happens because I'm trying to force stuff. It's a force thing. And listen, we're not saying right or wrong. Everybody hustles at one point or another. We're just saying what's the impact and what that is, right? So I love that. So oh my God, yeah.
Hustle makes you think everything is urgent and everything has to get finished now. You got to do it right here, right now, and I got to keep going, and I gotta. I used to be that.
Yes.
Man, now my hustle is, let me learn this AI stuff so that I can build agents, have assistants, and take a lot of stuff off my plate. That's what this time of rest has done for me.
Love it. Love it, because I know we can go behind the scenes about us a lot. And, do we want you guys to have circumstances come, and, circumstances are going to happen, right? But like if you or take a moment, right? These are circumstances like she didn't plan, like, you know, this is the things, those will always happen. But when they do, we've talked about this in the past, you can either look at it as a like, why me victim mentality, or you can look at it as an opportunity that opens up something new. And look at what it has for, Raquel. She's always up to stuff. We're always up to stuff, but now she's really looking at, and I definitely agree with you on AI. We can totally have cool conversations, but you're using it as a tool that's going to support you, and not being the one to do it all. And I agree with you, because I'm re-looking at here for you at what it was once. And thank you to my AI companion, utilizing my words and what I'm about and who I am. It just took so much more, like just like lightning that made a spark into me that has stuff being like, I'm able to like just do things so much more quicker rather than, spending hours and hours. So I love it. Wow. This week can go on for hours, because I know I'm looking at times. It's already 31 minutes into this. Sis, how would you like to close out the show?
I want to leave you all with a question, and you can put it in our Facebook group, Rise and Thrive Together Community, or you can write it in a journal. Whatever you do to answer questions, I want you to answer this one. When was the last time you rested without feeling the need to justify it?
Woo! Hold on. I'm going to leave this with a question. When is the last?
When was the last time
When was the last time
you rested without feeling the need to justify it?
I'm feeling the need to justify it. Okay. Let's see if I wrote it right. And if I didn't, close enough. Here we go. When was the last time you rested without feeling the need to justify it? That, my Rise and Thrivers, is the question we are asking you to think about. And the ways that you can drop your answers are, you can still drop them in the chat, because they'll be going live and they'll be being posted to all of our social media channels. Also, we have a private Facebook group, Rise and Thrive Together Community. And so you can join that and really get more, into our small community, and we can talk about that together. And, journal it, do whatever you want to do. We would love for you guys to really go out there, put it on the line, think about it. Let's get into conversation about it, because the rest of this month, we're going to look at the best of from this topic. That's how I started the first one. So it's from this topic about rest and the rhythm of rest and the hustle culture, and, go through the archives and find, as close as possible, videos that'll continue to support this conversation. I love it, sis. This has been, honestly, I haven't seen her in weeks. We usually talk a lot, and we haven't. And none of that because of who we are for one another, because we always say, who's your community? Who's that person? How well do they know them? None of that was like, oh my goodness. She got what she needed, and she's getting what she needed. And the only time I want to make sure was she was healthy and safe and be able to see if she's coming on. So I'm happy to see you in person. Thank you, everybody, for being on. This has been amazing.
So, absolutely appreciate it. Remember, for the rest of July, the best of, like Red said, first Monday in August, we'll be back live. And then for September on, we will be here every Monday live and in person. But until then, stay grounded, stay curious, and keep choosing you. Take care.